Well, hello and welcome again to Tea Talk. I'm Lady O, I'm your host, and I am so excited about what we're going to be sharing today on Tea Talk. You know, we always have some relevant issues that we're going to share and information we're going to find out and people we're going to get a chance to meet. And today I'm super, super excited that I have my dear friend that's going to come on, Dr. Allison, and she is on not just because she's my friend, but because she is doing some wonderful things in her community, in her family, in her life. She's just an amazing, amazing woman. So I want you to go ahead and share this particular segment with your friends, and go ahead and invite somebody else to come on because she is an entrepreneur. So if you want to know about opening a business and how she does that, she has real estate. She knows how to buy and manage properties. She is a wizard at finances, how to handle your finances, how to get rich, and how to keep it. You know, she really has a lot of wisdom. She has also, she's a leader in her community, and she also is the pastor of the Beulah Land Church over in Fifth Ward. So I want to bring her on now. I'm sorry, Third Ward. In Third Ward, Texas. Oh my goodness, if I can get those mixed up, I'm gonna be in trouble with my Third Ward friends. But anyway, Tea Talk, would you help me welcome my dear friend, Dr. Ruth Allison? Hello, Dr. Ruth.
Hey, Lady O. Or as you know, I call you Dr. Lady O because I always want to respect that you went through that grueling and you are Dr. Lady O to me. So thank you so much for having me.
Well, bless you, and thank you for coming on. We're just so excited. And I had to have you on this week because I know next week is a really great day for you. And you have your conference, your seminars. And so we're going to be learning all about those seminars and where to sign on. But I want the people to get to know you first and give everybody a time to get signed on so they won't miss this great information about this conference that's coming up next Saturday. So, I know who you are, but there's probably some things I don't know about you. So why don't you just kind of give us a who is Dr. Ruth?
Yeah. Well, actually, there are a lot of things that you don't know about me. And if you knew them, we probably wouldn't be friends. So,
I love it. I love it. We just keep it real. She and I will talk. We just keep it real.
So I am excited about this time. And I just thought about this, you and I, we're in the same city and we really don't see each other enough. And so I was so excited. I said, oh, we have this time. So this is going to be like catching up. Wait, when you say that, what are you doing?
Well, we do this since the beginning of the year, and I don't think we've seen each other in person. Well, we did one time at my conference. You did come to my conference.
Of course, yes.
But I was busy, so we didn't really have time to sit and do girl talk or whatever you want to call it, just to catch up. And so we usually do lunch and stuff like that. So we're overdue. So after this, we got to do lunch or you got to come to the sunroom.
I'm going to do it. Well, I want to thank you for supporting this event. It's a summit. We're calling it a summit for Saturday, October 8th. And so you asked me about me, and wow, I don't even know what to say. This is I'm a very simple person. I think I'm simple.
You are not. Very complex.
I'm a country girl like yourself. Okay. I was raised in East Texas, and I really, this is a very special week for me because it's the 28th anniversary of my mom's transition.
Oh, wow.
And so it's so interesting that all the days this year fell on the same days of the week. Wow. Yeah. And so it's 28 years and she left on the 28th day and all this. So I've been kind of in that and just
Yeah.
doing some reflection. And part of the reflection is that growing up as the first daughter of a single mom,
Mhm.
and growing up in poverty,
Mhm.
there's something we call the deal she and I had.
Mhm.
And the deal was that she was going to help me go to college. And she implanted that seed in my mind that I was going to go to college. And people would ask me as a very little girl, what are you going to do when you grow up? And I said, I'm going to go to college. And I just knew it. I started saying it. Looking at where I grew up, there was no way that you would ever
Wow.
think that that would happen, but it was in me. So it was a seed that
Wow.
was planted and it germinated. So the deal was she was going to help me and I was going to help my brother and my sisters go. And then the next one was going to help the next one, it was going to help the next one, it was going to help the next one. So it ended up that I was a part of all of those deals if they wanted to go.
Mm.
So
Mm.
they went as far as they wanted to.
You were there.
I was on.
But let me just say something. And like you say, you learn something new about your friends. And I think I knew this, but you just brought it back to my attention. I'm the firstborn, and my mother, the first to go to college, and that was packed. She didn't know how to get me into college, but she got me in. We didn't know what we were doing. And my mother, of course, dropped out of school to have me.
Same here.
Yeah, and she went back and got a GED and got a nursing degree. And so education was very, very important to her for her firstborn. She didn't know how to do it, but God put people in her life to help her get me in college. So, and my siblings, the same thing. They went as far as they wanted to go. So we have a lot in common. So that's why we're friends. Okay, go ahead and tell me.
Yeah.
And
So
even Texas too. You were at Mount Pleasant is where we were.
yes, Mount Pleasant. And I'm going to show you something. I have a picture of my house that
And
I
I'm from
grew
East
up
Texas
in.
too. That's why
Yeah, you're
we're both from East Texas.
So I'm going to show you. I have a picture of my house.
Okay, let me
And
see where you grew
can you
up. Oh my
see that?
goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
typical
the
house.
typical house. And if you look there, that's the front room. The door is open. Remember,
Yeah,
we
we call it the
you
front room.
always
Yeah,
keep your
what
doors open.
room? It was a front room.
Front room. It was called the front room. And you didn't have we didn't have air conditioning. We had a fan or two, but we kept the doors open and the windows up. And that's how you stay cool. And look on there, right there, there's our little washer on the porch. See
Oh,
that?
wow.
And the clothes on the line.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
it's
I
so
love
funny.
it. I love it.
I'm just seeing the clothes on the line. I don't know why I hadn't even seen those before.
Oh,
But in my backyard now, I have a clothesline.
yeah. I would
Uh,
love to have a clothesline because that has so many memories of hanging up
Yes.
those clothes on a Saturday morning.
Yeah. Oh, don't mention it. Don't mention it.
Okay.
So that's my house. Now that's the front part. My brother and I painted it.
Oh, wow.
So this is the improved version. Okay.
Oh, wow.
We did the best we could. We
Mhm.
got some paint and we slushed it around and it looks a little better. And we didn't do the top. I guess I don't know who did that, probably my granddad, because we lived with him also. But look, this is my room.
Mhm.
Let's see. I'll show you my room. That's my room. That's the side of the house.
Well, that's the side. Okay. I see that bed. I know that bed.
Yeah, yeah, with the bedding stuff. That's the side of the house.
Back porch, yes.
Yeah, that's what it would have looked like if we hadn't painted it in the front. But we didn't have enough paint to do it. So that's where I grew up.
Wow,
okay.
That is amazing.
Yeah. So I don't have any kind of judgment for, where people live or where they came from or anything like that.
Mhm.
When I was getting ready to go to college, it was like God said to me, go take a picture of this.
Wow.
And so I had no idea what I was doing. I walked around the house and I took a picture.
Mm.
And so this is where we live now.
Wow. All right.
Now. So I always like to tell people when I'm showing those pictures, whoa, don't start feeling sorry. because
Okay.
you don't need to feel sorry for me, right? Because God
Exactly.
used that.
Yes, yes. He brought
God
you
used
from-
that. So
Exactly.
now I know that I can take that same kind of little house
Mm-hmm.
and I can paint it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I can make it look as good as it can look. And I tell people, so I buy old houses now, and I tell people, I just rented out something yesterday, and so it's not new, but it is the best that it can be. And
Wow.
it's a place that I would live in right now. That's what I do. So this is what you can afford. And so I'm gonna make sure that you're treated well, and et cetera, et cetera. So you just I don't throw a lot of things away, and I certainly don't throw people away.
Wow.
Especially not based on where they are or where they're from.
Let me just, say something about what you just said, just kind of gave me a little chill. Of course, my grandfather's house is not like anywhere near as good as I'll show a picture of that years on another show. But you said you make the house be the best it can be.
Yes.
Because that house for somebody is their castle. It is their abode. It is where they look forward to going to. So you are buying up houses there in third ward.
Maybe I need to go to Fifth Ward. Maybe that's prophetic.
No.
I'm gonna go to Fifth Ward and see what I can buy.
Yeah, do that. It might be okay, but this is the thing. My grandfather's house was torn down last year. My uncle tore it down, and it was still standing in good condition. But they wanted, I don't know what they wanted to do, but it was torn down. And I believe that a house has life if somebody puts their hands on it and cares about it, and it will still stand. So when you talked about those houses you buy in third ward that are some of us wouldn't live in, maybe we feel like we're too good to live in, but we used to live in those little shotgun houses and those houses that look like that. But you care about that. So God has entrusted you with it so that you can take it and make it be the best it can be for somebody else to live in. That's the little thought I had when you said that. It's like, whoa.
And you know what? I'm so glad that you said that, because one of the things that we'll be exploring can I say the name of the new ministry that God gave me? It's called the Women's Initiative for Global Peace and Prosperity.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not against anything, but it is bringing a woman's view, a woman's touch to it, and the difference that would make in our world. Yeah. So there's this little book called Acres of Diamonds. It's a really short little book. I really recommend that people get it and read it. It'll take you maybe 2 hours to read it. But here's the thing on Acres of Diamonds. We'll be talking about this some in the summit as well. So this guy becomes a preacher, Cornwell, and he goes on one of these junkets, where you go and you have to think and all this. And so he's riding and someone's carrying around on a camel, and he says, listen, I'm going to tell you a story. Because the preacher was trying to think about, well, what am I going to do with my life? What am I going to do? So this guy says, I'm going to tell you a story. And he told a story about a gentleman who had a farm. And on the farm, he was really, really happy. He was content because he was happy with his farm, with his wife, with his daughter. And he was happy because he was content. Okay. All right. So
he was content, the Bible says, yeah.
He was content because he was happy, and he was happy because he was content with what he had. So then, working, taking care of his family and all that. And then one day somebody came along and they said, hey, did you know that diamonds were found? Do you know that diamonds are all over the world and people are finding diamonds and they're getting super rich? So this was interjected into his heart. And then all of a sudden he was no longer happy. He just kept thinking about diamonds. He just kept about diamonds. And so finally he got up and he told his wife, he said, I'm going to go find diamonds. He said, you go and stay with your parents. You and my daughter, you're going to stay with your parents. He sold his farm and he went and looking for diamonds. He looked and looked and looked. And then the last scene is of him on the edge of the sea. And he's so distraught that he hasn't found these diamonds that he walks into the sea and he dies. Okay, so some months later, somebody comes to the farm. The farm has been sold and there's a new family there. And the little girl on the farm was out playing and she found a little rock and she brought it into her dad and he takes it, he puts it on the mantle. So a guy comes back by and he said, is Avad, is he back? He looked at that and he said, no. I said, where'd you get this? He said, well, my daughter was playing and she found it. You know, it's just out there. And so they go and they find the biggest diamond mine.
Right there.
Right there on where he was.
Yes, right where he was. If only he had been content with where he was. Wow.
And look around and see what you have. All right. That's what God told Moses, isn't it? What do you have in your hands?
In your hand.
And we want to be
able. A book called What's in Your Hand. So yeah.
So we want to be able to look at what we have in our hands. When we talk about peace and prosperity, we want to be able to say, what do I already have?
That's good. That is so good.
Appreciate what we already have and where we already are. Isn't it true as you look at the news and see the number of immigrants who are fighting their way, who are trying to get to our country? Why are they doing that? Because there's something here.
Yeah. They're looking for peace and they're looking for happiness. And in their situation, they believe it's in America, it's in the United States because of the oppression that they have suffered where they are. But I want to get to your title because you kind of led really gracefully into that topic. So let's go ahead and talk about your summit. And I love the flyer. And if you have it, if you can put it up, it's called the Women's Initiative. And the subtitle for Global Peace and Prosperity. What you just said is talking about, you know, that being content, finding peace, but we also want to find some prosperity. And that's why people are coming across the border. That's why people do the things that they do, go to school and so forth. They're looking for peace and they're looking for prosperity. So tell me about the summit that is going to be held next Saturday at October 8th at 10 a.m. How did you come about the title, the Women's Initiatives for Global Peace and Prosperity? What is that all about?
Well, you know, I was in I'm trying to get out of disobedience. That's why I came up with it. It was as if God came and wrote that on me. Okay. And said, I want you to do, and this was like 9 months ago. So it's probably good that it's being birthed.
Okay.
Right. Right. 9.5, 10 months ago. So okay. It's
baby needs to be birthed.
It's been in my heart that long. Just, you know, do it. You need to get this done. You need to get this done. And so I didn't rush out to do it. I wanted to explore how to do it. I want to make sure that I'm really the one to do it. I began to see the news and so Women's Initiative. Okay. We as women bring something very special to the world. One, we bring life.
Mhm.
Life does not happen without a woman.
And that's
It is.
that's something.
That's right. And God designed us to be equal participants, male and female, created He them and gave them the authority and the power to share. And somehow, over time, we have allowed our lights to diminish.
Mhm.
We have looked to the patriarchy to lead us.
Mhm.
And so nothing, this is not against anyone.
Mhm.
Patriarchy is fine, but matriarchy is fine as well. So when you even think of world leaders, for instance, what world leader, what woman do you know? Just think about it. You and I, what woman do you know would go and invade a sovereign nation
Mhm.
and kill innocent people the way we have acting out on the stage
Mhm.
in between Russia and Ukraine right now? Who
Yeah.
would do that?
Who would
It's
do
just this fighting. There was and for what? How much more land do you need? There was how many more innocent children? And so you know where the solution is to this is you can't talk to Putin, but who can talk to him is his sister, his wife, if he has one, his daughters, his lover, his mother. The women of Russia can deal with this.
And they will.
And they will. But you see, but there are things that we as women need to deal with as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me go back to something before I forget that you said very, very important, because this show really reaches women, but predominantly African American women. And so when you were talking about God gave them dominion, and we're not hating on men or bashing men, but reality, and we keep it real here, is most African American women, for no fault of their own, have been given this leadership authority to run their houses, run their communities, because of, whatever, prison. Our men are going to prison, they're dying, and they're being killed, they're abandoning their homes. They're not having the equipment to be able to do the leadership part of it. So we as women cannot relegate it to, someone else, to a man or whatever. If God, and I have a wonderful man who leads our home, and I know you do too, but the majority of the women that are Black don't. I think the statistics says about 70%, it's over 50% of Black women are heads of their households. So this is really good that you're telling the women that you have to have an initiative to do something. You cannot wait for the right man, the right boo. You cannot wait for the government, whatever. So is your conference going to speak to Black women, and how they, and I know with you being a woman, you are a pastor, you have a husband who supports you. That's not typically how the world runs. Usually it's the woman supporting the man. So as a female stepping out there, how does this conference speak to the women that are gonna be coming?
Yeah, everyone will get something out of this conference relative to the diamonds of leadership that are already in them.
I like
We have to be cognizant of who we be and what God has already given us. So yes, you can look at me now and say, oh, well, you're doing this and you're doing this and you're doing this. And let me tell you something. When I bought my first house, I was told.
Talk about that.
I did not wait on my husband.
Come on now.
All right. So even my dad, after I met him, and we started a relationship, and and I was an adult. at that point, but he was
That's
saying,
another thing we have in
yeah,
common. We both met our dads as an adult and developed a relationship after that we were well into adulthood.
yeah.
So before you met your dad, and even when you were married to this wonderful man, what made you decide I'm going to get up and I'm going to buy a house?
Well, it was very simple. Again, I'm minding my own life, and I did not understand rent because that old house that we had, we owned it. So I didn't. So then when I went to college and I saw how much it cost to be in a dorm, I said, I got to get out of here. This is too much money. And then I went and rented a little apartment, really is a compartment. It was so little.
Efficiency. We had one too.
Yeah, but I asked the people I was renting. I didn't understand the concept. I never had known it. I said, okay, so I pay you every month for how long? And we agreed on term. And I said, so when I leave, I get nothing? He said, no, that's rent. And I said, oh, rent doesn't make sense.
This is a problem.
But it's going to help me now. It's less than what I was going to pay the dorm, continue to pay the dorm. So I'm coming in here. I got a job. I started paying. And so as soon as I graduated, I started looking. I said, I'm going to buy a house. And because buying makes sense to me. And but by the way, nothing wrong with rent, right? I have some beautiful tenants. That may be your choice. Some people don't like the responsibility. I learned later, the responsibility of ownership. Right. So that's why
responsibilities. But the other thing people don't like is, they may be wanting to move somewhere else. That may not be their permanent place. And a lot of them don't have their financial, what do you call it, your history.
Yes.
Your credit is not good enough to buy a house. So we just want to make sure you have the opportunity to do it, that it's not keeping you from it. And I don't know if you're going to cover about credit or those kind of things that go into being ready to take an opportunity if you do want to move into a house.
We'll talk about money.
Yeah, later on. Go ahead.
But no, I do want to talk about at the conference. We are going to talk about money. Matter of fact, I'll do a little, whenever we get to it, I'll do a little thing here about money that I think will be so interesting to people. But look, I always say about my husband and I, we co-lead our home.
Okay.
And I think, and what we've done is, where are the areas where he's strong? Then I submit to that.
Come on now.
And where are the areas where I'm strong? Then he's saying, honey, what do you think we need to do about so-and-so? And we do that. He submits to that. So we are a team. And I think one of the things we have to be careful of is if we put men on a pedestal to say, well, you got to make this decision and you got to do this and you got to do that. You know what's going to happen? 9 times out of 10, he's going to run.
Yeah. He can't handle that by himself.
That's too much.
God did not create him.
That's not the way it's set up. That is not the way it's set up. That's the way it's set up in the patriarchal society. But if you look at the Bible,
come on,
that is not how it was set up. It was co-leadership. You both have authority. You both have dominion. You do this together.
Yeah. Let me stop you because I want to make sure we get this teaser in or this appetizer in, but also, can you show the flyer so we can make sure that people have the information? And then we'll come back at the end and put it up before we leave. But we want to make sure we get a little taste of what we're going to have at this conference.
Okay, then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to move around here a little bit while we're talking.
Okay.
Because I don't know if I have the flyer on my computer, but I have it. Let's see, I'm going to find it. Let me go find it.
That's okay. I can talk about it while you're finding it, but we're getting kind of close and I don't want to run out of time.
Okay.
So it says, and this is it right here. I don't know if you can make it bigger.
Okay.
But the Women's Initiative, this is the flyer. Oh, you got it?
Okay, thanks, Tish. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a women's initiative. All right, we got to bring that to bear. And even as I look, what's the woman's voice? Okay, what are we saying? We have dumbed down our voices. We have quieted our voices in so many ways, and we've got to come back. So in every aspect of our lives, in our families, in certainly in leading and managing ourselves, in our communities, our voices have to be raised. In the economy, in crime fighting, okay? Our voices have to come to bear. We have to stand up, and it has to be more than crying, okay? It has to be, this is the way it's going to be. And we have to stand up like you. And when I'm thinking about this, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about people like our parents, our mothers, all right, standing up and being strong. You know who I'm also thinking about? I'm thinking about you. And I know that you won't be able to be with us, but I'm looking at a woman on this screen who raised 4 successful children. You and your husband did that, and you managed that home. And I know that you've poured so much, into that family and the success of that family. And I also know, because I've also grew up in church, that as a first lady, the backbone of the ministry is the church. I'm sorry, is a first lady who's in there doing that administration and gathering up those people and saying, honey, what about this? And teaching the women and doing all of this stuff. And so you didn't get to go put your feet up. Oh, we're going to do a church now. So you go to the beach, right? Didn't happen.
No.
It didn't happen.
Oh,
When we see first met, yes, I love Bishop. And I've heard Bishop say this at your birthday party. You had initiative in that. You do it now. You're not, out there way out the front, but we see your handprint.
Yeah.
We see it. So I need to ask you a question. I know we got time.
Okay.
You told me to invite a friend. So let me flip on you. You know I'm a reporter, right?
Okay, I know, right?
So can you give us some insight into the successful rearing of 4 amazing children, now 4 amazing adults? Give me a couple of tips on that, because see, we're going to be learning from each other. It'll be like this at the summit.
Right. Well, I am we have our leaders retreat on the same day. Otherwise, I would be there supporting my friend, because I'm so in support of what she's doing, and I know her. And I know the work that she has done. And so we really reflect each other as we reflect Christ. I just say that as a mother, when I look back over my life, and, I kept our grandsons, 3 of them, and they're all in different grade levels and sports and so forth. And Bishop and I had to take them back and forth to football games, and it wore us out. And I said, Lord Jesus, how in the world did I do with 4? I have 3, and I can't take another week. But I would just say it was just one of those, like you said before, I learned to be content in whatever situation I was in, and to make the most out of it.
Yes.
So I had to put my children as a priority, because I knew it was a season, and that season would pass, and it passed so fast. And so I kept them in the church, whether they wanted to go or not. This is a big thing for people who are in COVID. Take those children to church. It doesn't matter if they need to go or not. They will need this. When they can't be with you, they will need what they're going to get in the church. And so that was a big thing. I made them active in church. They didn't just go to church. They had to be in the choir, be on the usher, be in the dance, be whatever, actively involved as a well-rounded child. They were in Jack and Jill. They were in the community things. They were involved in their school. So they were actively involved as leaders. I made them do those things when they didn't want to do them. They do them now, because that's the seed that I placed in them. So we'll have to have a show on that, because
that's initiative. That is women's initiative. And likewise, we have a son, and he's 30 years old, and he has a wife and 2 beautiful children, because we took the time and I initiated it. I found the schools he was going to. I took him to the schools. I met at the schools. And so you
Right.
have to invest this time. So we got to get beyond
Take the initiative.
how we look and,
Yes.
how all the fashion, nothing wrong with all of that. But what are our priorities? We have to prioritize, and we have to have, first of all, we have to have peace.
Mhm.
So I'm kind of talking about the concept and the fire again. We have to have peace. And that peace,
Is that content thing that you were talking about earlier?
yeah, that starts with who we are.
Yeah, even if a broken down house and that's all you got, be content in that and make the most of it. So is that kind of summarizing what's going to be discussed at the conference?
That's part of it, but we're going further. But you
Okay.
have, so start with peace. Start with peace in your neighborhood. Have peace in your neighborhood. Begin to look at people in a new light. Really see people. Really get a vision of what people are going through, and be women. Let this woman stuff come out. I mean,
Yeah.
we really care.
Yeah, take some initiative to do something. Find out what God wants you to do.
Yeah.
Now, before we get off the show, you got to give us the teaser you were talking about. I don't want to run out of time for that. And then we're going to come back and close it with whatever it is you want to say to the people. Of course, we want to reiterate again, it's October, this Saturday.
It's this Saturday, yeah.
October 8th at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
And tell us where it's located so we can, I'm a visual person. Tell me where you are so I don't have to look it up.
Okay. So the church is located at 3335 Holman Street in Ward.
Over by Scott Street, over by Texas Southern University, over by U of A. That's my stomping ground, right?
That's your stomping ground.
Yeah, I got my about Texas Southern University, so I know about all those historic streets. I used to work for U of A, so
see, yeah. So that's amazing. We need to do the show about you. So you're really my heroine and an example of it. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're also going to talk about prosperity. Okay, so it's okay to be prosperous. All right. Even in the church, we have this thing about the prosperity gospel. Oh, come on now. What other kind of gospel is there?
Wait a minute. Everybody wants to be prosperous. Really, even the guy on the street that's homeless wants to be prosperous.
He does. It's not a poverty gospel.
Yeah. He doesn't know how to do it. And if he knew how to do it and was guaranteed it would work, he would do it. So I think that's where you come in, is that you can tell people how to do it by your model. You are a model for finance and prosperity. And that's evident by what you just had, your house, that you came from your humble beginnings and where you are now. You can tell us. People can't tell you about where they haven't been. So I'm listening because you know that's your area.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So I love the lessons that I've learned. I mean, I really don't think that I'm any different than anyone else.
Okay.
I think anybody can do what we've done if they want to, and I'm willing to share that. So that's part of what it's about. Also, we need to prosper. God didn't put us here to be poor. There is nothing, there's nothing spiritual about being poor. Besides, being poor costs too much.
Come on.
Being poor costs too much. This is what I learned and I love that God took me from the country and put me in the inner city, because I don't know what I'm not supposed to do. I don't know where I'm not supposed to go. I think I'm supposed to do anything, go up and down the street anytime I get ready, talk to everybody, which I do. And I learn things and I get to help people. I saw a guy the other night, and I was coming out of the dollar store, and the guy was I'm trying to get home. I had things to do. And the guy said, "Now, you have any change?" And I said, "Look, I do not go around with money. Not at this age." I don't go around. I cannot take dollar bills and put them out. I never really did that, but I sure am not going to do that right now. And so I left, lady, I left. And then the spirit just hit me and I went back. And I said, okay, what's going on with you? Because listen, I was getting ready to leave there, go to my house, eat anything I want, sleep, talk, watch TV, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, really? That's what you're gonna do? So
Okay.
I took the initiative.
Yeah.
And I went back.
The Holy Spirit, which will the Holy Spirit guide you every time.
That's right.
Acting like we don't hear him or give him the hand, but Holy Spirit was talking.
So I went back, I talked to him, and I have it on video. I said, what's your name? Because you really want to look at people in the eye and say, who are you?
Yeah.
How did you get here?
Yeah.
And what's your story?
Yes.
And he talked, and I kind of squatted down to talk to him because he's sitting on the ground. And I said, look, he told me, he said he got a divorce, lost his family, and he's just out here, and my heart is broken, and all this. And I said, is this what you want to be doing though? And he said, no. And he said, well, God's got me. God's going to take care of me. And I said, look, God's got you, but you're going to have to get up from here.
Yeah.
And he said,
what? And walk.
That's what I said. He said, what? I said, you all sprawling on the ground. And he said, yeah. He said, I smell. I said, yeah, you do. And you need to get up. And he was telling me, he said, well, he said, I'm a member of a church. And he told me the church, which is on the same street as our church. I'll tell you, the church is no secret. He said he's a member of Lily Grove Church. I said, call your pastor. What are you doing here? I'm a pastor. I'll help you, but you need to get up.
Yeah.
So as a woman, I saw him. I didn't just say, here's some change. I'm out. No, let's get you where you need to be.
Right.
All right. And so I told him I said, I'm gonna get you some clothes. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I'll help you. I have a man who works with me. I'll help you get a shower, blah, blah, blah. But, and I followed up with that. So that's a women's initiative. So yes, lady, I'm careful now. I just don't remember my car. I know you're thinking, oh, my friend. Let me.
I had to talk to her because she gets up and she is in third ward, and she gets up and she jogs whenever she wants to. She just goes out and runs, and she talks to everybody. She has all these homeless people, who, could harm her. Honestly, I said, just be careful.
These are great people.
I know. And, and I said, but I didn't want to distract her because God called her. Tell us about your hood ministry. Cause that's something that she does. And I was like, my friend, what's going on here?
I know you're like, what, why are you wearing all these hoods? Why are you wearing these hoods? Well, you know what I try to do is, God and I struggle a little bit in my obedience. I try to be obedient, but I'm not immediately obedient. So during Lent, he moved up on me, said, I want you to share a little bit of what I give you from your devotion. And I said, oh no, I can't do that. I don't have any makeup on. I don't want to comb my hair. So everything I brought up,
Right.
it was just you don't have to comb your hair, just wear a hoodie.
Or a hoodie.
I said, okay.
Don't worry about your hair.
Don't worry about all that. Just because every excuse you bring up, God can knock it down. But we don't have any excuse. We're talking about God here, okay? So we don't have any excuse not to be successful. That's what this is about. We're not going to be crying. We're going to be looking and saying, okay, what do I need to do? And how do I need to change things around? Can I show you something else? So that's what the hoodie is. And so I spend an hour or two in the word and writing and journaling. And then I slide down on the floor. I turn my camera on, and I share about 3 or 4 minutes of what God told me.
I think it's wonderful. So it's every day, right?
I do it every day.
Every day.
I pray. I pray every day. It doesn't cost me anything to obey God. And
wonderful. I think it's very, very. I thought it was someone that when I saw with the hood, I'm like, is she out there with these people? Lord mercy, what's gonna happen to her?
I'm in my prayer room.
But God gave you that hood thing, and you're in the hood every day, walking, sharing with people in the hood. I just love it. Yeah,
it's prayers in the hoodie.
Prayers in the hoodie.
Yeah. Can I share
Yes.
something? Let's talk about money.
Yes,
Can you see my screen now?
I can see it.
Okay, so I'm going to share this. Let me show you something that I discovered. So my ministry, as you know, is we're kind of small, but we're feisty. And so I was getting the thing. I was like, God, is this ministry even successful?
Mhm.
I mean, people don't even want to come to church and blah, blah, blah. So I said, look, can you teach me about money? I asked God to show me that.
Yeah.
And so these are some of the things that I just started to study. I said, I still do my ministry. I'll still do the church. I'll still do all this, but show me some things. So he gave me the money school. So I'm going to share that with people. So here it is. Here's an important question. Where did you learn what you know about money? Where did you learn? Did your mom had a bank account? Did your grandfather show you about investing and saving? And here's what you do with your money. Or did they do it like this? Here's $1 and you run and spend it.
Mhm.
That was your reward. Did you go and just spend? And so we did not realize that we were setting something up. And so just think about that. Did anybody ever show you a checking account, a banking account? Of course, now things are, online, but still you have to have that. So big questions. What do you know about money? Why do you even want money? Where can you get money? What's the purpose of money? How does it feel to have money? How does it feel not to have money? Bad. Feels good to have money. As people show up for work on Fridays, they can be all sick and all this, and then on Friday they'll show up for work. Why? You get paid.
Okay.
They want money.
Want the money.
You can feel so bad and be depressed, and people can be all saying all stuff about you. Then you go to your mailbox and get a big old check out of there. All of a sudden, you feel great.
You feel real good.
So then think about, what are your money habits? What do we do with money when we get it? What is God's attitude about money? What does the Bible teach about money? Where is the money?
Okay.
All these things.
See, now that last one, that where is the money? I hope you really, really expound on that when you have your school, because, when I look at people that come from humble beginnings, okay, I think that a lot of times money goes through our hands and through our pockets, and we don't even really know, like, you got this big settlement, you got this big income tax check, you got a big break here. Where is the money?
Good.
We lost it, or where do we look for it? I love that. Go ahead.
So keep that in mind, but I'm gonna do just a couple more slides.
Okay,
here.
go ahead.
So here's some good news. We were born millionaires. Everybody in this country was born a millionaire.
Okay.
All right. So here's the deal. If you make $10 an hour times 40 hours times 52, that's $20,800. So and just say you work 40 years, over a lifetime, you're going to make $832,000.
Wow.
If you make just 25,000, most of us make more than that, but just $25,000, over a period of time that you work, you're going to make $1 million.
Yeah.
Everybody is.
Wow. You're going to make it. What are you
You're going to make it. You already got it. If you're here and you get a job, and by the way, people make 10, 17, 18, 25, 30, $50 an hour now. If you count hours. I don't do hour. I don't know how much I make an hour. I don't count that.
Right.
Okay, so here's what you do with it. Here's the answer. Tithe, that's first. Save. So you need to save an equal amount of your tithe for yourself. So you're paying yourself. And then you save another equal amount to invest in something. So that's the part you want to grow. You're saving because you might have some emergency. You don't want to use all your money up every month. You don't want to have more month than money. So we got to make those balance. But you give God that part, and then you save an equal part, and you save another equal part in order to invest in your business or start some kind of business or deal or concern. All right, then with the rest of that money, you must have your housing. You must have food, must have transportation and education.
Mhm.
That's what we should do with money.
Mhm.
That's a start. That's where you get your acres of diamonds are. That's where
Mhm.
everybody started right there. Because in that education, that's going to put you in line to make more money
Right.
and to do more with it. That
Mm.
is the key.
Wow.
You have to know what to do with it. Now, I put down recreation because a lot of people, as soon as they get their money, they start going buying doodads and
Yeah.
playing and spending that money. And so the money
Went
just,
to Jamaica,
come on, as you said, that money
going on
starts
a cruise.
disappearing.
And it's like, not this season. You cannot do what you see somebody doing who has that money because you got $3,000. Now you want to go on a cruise. No, you don't even have a house.
Mm-mm.
So I like this. And what I was writing down here, and this is so a good piece of a diamond that you've given us here. But we as Black people have to have order in our lives, which is this is what this is, setting the order. And we have to have discipline to follow the order and to be content with whatever season we're in. I
Yes.
may not be able to go on a cruise that costs $3,000, but maybe I can go on a cruise that costs $800 or $1,000. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses because you have a little, because you don't have investments, you don't have savings. So you are pulling from a resource that's going to keep you in poverty or pull you back in poverty because you don't have a plan and you're not a discipline and you're not following the order for getting rich. So you will never become anything but what you are right now. Okay.
Mhm. And importantly, delay gratification.
Yes. Yeah.
You're not, it's not time to
Discipline.
cruise yet.
No.
It's time to work and save.
Work and save.
It's
That's
time to work and save. And by the way, you can have some recreation, but that
Yeah.
recreation doesn't need to cost money. I mean, it doesn't need to cost a lot of money. Maybe you're going to go to a park.
Mhm.
Okay. Maybe you're going to go, I have a zoo membership. All right. I can afford that now. But look, I took my grandkids to the zoo. We got 2 drinks and some popcorn. It was $28. I said, oh no, that's not going to happen again. So, so we pack snacks and go to the zoo.
But Dr. Let me say this too. People who have money don't waste money like
We
that.
don't waste money.
So people that don't have money, people that do have money don't waste money like that, $28. People that don't have money, I see them out buying $40, $50 worth of snacks and treats and doodads for their kids at circuses, and they don't have their rent next month. They don't have a savings. So I think that this is the money school. What you have is so important. And I really, really hope that people will get in there and let somebody tell you what to do with your money because you don't know what to do with it. And then when you get to be 65 and you're trying to live off of Social Security, if you paid into Social Security and if it's still around, you're going to be working at Walmart with the little blue jacket. That's what I call it. That's my little thing. That's my fear. Lord God, will let me work at Walmart with the blue jacket. Okay.
Well, see, I don't really have a problem. Wherever you work, that's fine. Just work.
Just work. That's
just
good.
make sure you're going to take all work. All work to me.
I love the little people with the blue jacket.
All work is honorable to me. I love it. I don't want to do it. It would be boring for me because I don't like to stay in the same place at one time. But I really, 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 I love work.
And the Bible
I still work, by the way. I have 3 jobs.
Yeah, me too. Come on. And the Bible says if a man don't work, he don't eat.
Should not eat.
He should not eat. He shouldn't come over and want to borrow my money when I'm working. Now, like you said, I've been working. That's another thing too with raising kids. I had 3 full-time jobs that I was doing and still work at this age when I don't have to, but I still work. Number 1, because God has called me to this work. Number 2, I enjoy it. And number 3, I need income so that I don't know how long I'm going to live, but I want to make sure I have enough to live off that I don't have to wear the blue jacket if I don't want to. Nothing wrong with the blue jacket. I love you guys, but
but you got to think about that. You got to think about your life. And we got to be responsible for our own lives. Exactly. Nobody else is responsible for that. Okay. Exactly. So we hear this stuff about 40 acres and a mule. Guess what? If you don't know what to do with money,
You're gonna waste
You're
it.
gonna lose that. The 40 acres going right back
And the move.
to somebody who know what they're doing.
Come
So
on.
that's the truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's those are some of the things. Let's see, I think I had one more, if I can. Anyway, I think that's
Well, I
good.
think that this is so good that you will share this with us, because I wanted the people to know what kind of person you are, that you not only have the experience, you're living it, you're doing what you preach. I think it's so funny that you have enough money to spend $100 at the park if you wanted to, but the discipline and where is the money going is always in your mind. And I think this is something that when you sit at the feet of a person like you can impart that knowledge, not just book knowledge, but this is what I do. And this is how I got these rent houses, because I know now you have more than one rent house. You started at 21 with one rent house, and now I know you have more than 5. So I'm not gonna put the business out there.
But
It's quite a few.
I don't know. Some people ask me, so how many do you have? And I'm supposed to know.
Yeah, right.
But I don't really know.
But anyway, that's okay. We're not going to ask you that, but I just know it's more than 5. And the fact that you have, started 21 with one, that is just simply amazing, because you're still not ready to sit in a rocking chair and retire. I know that you are doing great things now. So this money school, is this something that people could ask you to come to their church and present?
Yes,
yes.
What do you
do with this?
Yes, I'm very passionate about this. I really want to share this because listen, the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil.
Come on.
And Dr. Ruth says the lack of money is not far behind it.
Okay. Because you're gonna steal,
the lack of it, the lack. You're gonna need. There's nothing wrong with money.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to be lacking it.
You don't want to lack. You want to have it, because it's it's biblical. It says he gives seed to the sower.
The sower,
right? And so that you can have something to give, and that you can have all sufficiency to do all things. That's the will of God for our lives. God is a good Father, and God has provided for us. And so why don't we have the things that we need? That's part of peace and prosperity. That's our prosperity. That's part. People say, well, it's spiritual prosperity. No, it's both.
Please. Well, you know what I always tell people? I said, my Father is prosperous. He's God. So if he's prosperous and he is creating and whatever, we should be doing the same thing.
Same thing.
We need to come out of this thing that we're, letting somebody tell us a way that is wrong, because education is the key in everything of learning. When you know better, you can do better. And this is what this workshop is this summit is going to bring to you all, so that you will know some things so you can do better, and you'll have access to someone who knows it. You can ask questions and learn from. We need to go to school. The school that I went to was my mama's school, and she went to safety pin and bra. You get paid with a safety pin, you pin it inside here, you pull it out, do the rent, and you give the kids 25 cents to go to the store. And that's the way we did it. But my mom learned better. And she learned the first thing that you need to have is you need to have real estate. So my mom took advantage of a program called the Turnkey Project for single mothers. And they helped her get a small house across in another community that was new. And that's how we grew up. We got out of that situation into a better situation. So she didn't pass that poverty bra and pin thing onto us. She eventually got a checkbook, and got a bank account. So that's because she learned better. So I want to just encourage you to go to the conference. And I also want to let you know it's going to be online. If you can't make it over in Third Ward, how can they get online, Dr. Ruth, to view by the website?
Yes. Tish, if you could put the flyer up again, you could go onto our website, which is beulalandchurch.org. beulahlandchurch.org, and you can register for the conference. beulahlandchurch.org. You can see it there. I know you can remember that. Then when you get there, it will tell you how to register. Now, everyone will be admitted to this conference. You're going to register. You have various levels to register. You can register for $1, because we couldn't make it $0. The little thing wouldn't let us make it $0. $1. You can register for $25, which is general. You can register. I have one called Me Plus 3, $100. So maybe you want to scholarship somebody else, all the way up to $1 million.
All right.
You want to underwrite this thing. So you got to start thinking bigger.
I love it.
Somebody is going to look at this and say, you know what? They're right. Let me write $1 million here. Wow. And so we can just think bigger.
Well, the thing of it is that I'm glad you said the prices, because we as Black people too make excuses. We do not want to tithe. We feel like we're, and thank God at First Met, we have some wonderful tithers. But what would it be like if everybody at First Met tithe? We wouldn't have to even take a loan for this building. And then also, we don't want to pay for registration fees for things that are going to benefit us. Now, if I said Beyonce, I love Beyonce, but I think her ticket would cost probably, I don't know, $150. We would pay that, and $50 parking and the popcorn that costs $35 as well, and not even think about it. And so I'm just saying, so into something that's beneficial for your future and your children's future, and this is it. So listen, go to beulahland.com. Is that right?
Beulah Land Church, beulahlandchurch.org.
The beulahlandchurch.org. We'll put that in the chat too. The beulahlandchurch.org, right? And you can register there. And please do register, guys. Support this. This is a great thing, and this is something that God has really blessed my friend with, and she can help you. And she is the guru. She is my Dr. Ruth, and we don't do that kind of ministry anymore with the bar and the pen, right? We take it to the bank, we invest it. She's going to tell you how to do all those things so that it can grow. And it first begins with sowing into the Lord. Sow into your local church. Tithe, because God has blessed you to be a blessing to your church, your home, and to other entities like such that we're bringing to you. Well, listen, my time is up. Thank you, Dr. Ruth. It's been wonderful. We will get together after this is over, soon, before the year is over. But listen, go ahead, no excuses. You can go in person or you can go online, but be there and bring some friends. It's worth it. Well, listen, this is Lady O. I'm out for today, but I'll see you again next Sunday at 3 for tea with Lady O. We're going to be talking about the lady who has a new production out, Plum Sugar. And we're going to talk about the life of Lauren Anderson, the Black ballerina. So you want to make sure you're here and that you bring your kids with you and hear about this production that's coming out and the life of this wonderful writer who has done this production. It's a miracle that and she's going to tell you how it happened. So I'll see you next Sunday at 3. Bye-bye for now.
Bye. Thank you.